So, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had a really bizarre take on the first night of the Democratic primary debates. As you all know, the Democratic primary debates on the first night contained people like Cory Booker, Tulsi Gabbard, Elizabeth Warren, some other people we don't care about. I said Castro, Beto O'Rourke, and yeah, that was basically it. And a bunch of people who randomly spoke Spanish and nobody understands why. Quite horribly, I might add. But nonetheless, AOC decided to give her take on the late night show. And I know she was put on the spot, so I was waiting a little bit. I wanted to wait to give it a few days. I'm like, maybe she will, update her statement. Maybe because she wasn't online. Just kidding, like AOC isn't online. This woman's always on social media. But I said, let me give it a little bit of time because I kind of didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it. Whenever someone has built built from the grassroots in the way that AOC did, it's heartbreaking to think that ego could get involved this much at this level when so much is at stake. And yet, here we are. So when she was asked about her take on the debates, she had this to say. I really do think this was a breakaway night. Oh, okay. Maybe you think it would be the person who was trending #1 on Google. Maybe the person who is literally all over social media, a bunch of memes about her, was almost unanimously called the winner of the debate. Maybe she's talking about her. Nope. She said it was a breakaway night. But she goes on to say, I think Elizabeth Warren really distinguished herself. I think Julian Castro really distinguished himself. And I think Cory Booker did a great job in talking about criminal justice. That's where the Senate stops, everybody. That's where the Senate stops. Elizabeth Warren did nothing to distinguish herself. Did absolutely nothing at all. And which is weird. The hosts of the debate actually did more to distinguish Elizabeth Warren than Elizabeth Warren did, considering they tried to assign all of Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard's policies to Elizabeth Warren and act like they were hers the entire time. And then they even tried to liken Elizabeth Warren to Bernie Sanders to give her more of a boost, which she failed to capitalize on. And the only people who have said Elizabeth Warren has won the debate were a couple of people in the mainstream. That was it. Julian Castro said that transgender women should have the right to an abortion. But he was saying it in a way he was trying to pander, so I don't think he heard what he said. I'm not even gonna get into the anatomy of all that, but Julian, bro, come on, dog, do some research, a little bit of scientific research. Look, I'm about everybody having equity of you want a uterus, you have a uterus, and you want to be in control of it. You already know how I feel about that. But what Julian just did, bro, no. Come on, let's be honest. No, Julian, no. That was panderific. That was fantastic. Come on. Then Cory Booker did a great job talking about criminal justice. No, Cory Booker did a great job of reminding us over and 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 over again that he's from the hood in 50 different ways. Never actually talked about solutions about how to help his neighborhood. Just talked about the fact that he's from the hood so he understands what we're discussing. He's from the hood also, just in case you were wondering. And then there's the name that AOC didn't mention. Tulsi Gabbard. Once again, the person who was the talk of the evening, who people like Meghan McCain and even Anna Kasparian, for God's sakes, was boasting about after the debates. Anna Kasparian. I know that's a whole different thing. We're going to talk about that. Don't worry. Tulsi had so much support that NBC tried to say that their were trolls boosting her. Trust me, the campaign ain't got money for trolls. I ain't gonna lie to you. They ain't got troll money. They still working on it. But AOC totally ignored her. And people want to keep trying to come. Oh, Niko, you're just mad at AOC because the off fact is it couldn't be better than. Maybe the off fact is going to be better than the Green New Deal. Maybe nope. I've said this for a while now. You know, do I consider AOC progressive? Yeah, I think she's progressive. Do I consider her a progressive champion? Absolutely not. Her ego's too heavily influenced by the fame. And she isn't the only one. This is a pattern that we've been seeing from other prominent figures in and out of the progressive movement, neoliberals, neoliberalites, and progressives alike, where their beef with Tulsi Gabbard is inexplicable. It makes no sense because a bunch of people who actually don't really get along with each other, they don't necessarily like each other, all of them dislike Tulsi. And they're all from different shades of political ideologies. From anti-war people who keep wanting to call her Islamophobic, to the progressives who don't want to, who pretend as if Tulsi doesn't exist, like AOC didn't fucking campaign on Tulsi's legislation for the OFF Act, almost directly taking wording from the OFF Act and including it in the Green New Deal, almost verbatim, not even exaggerating. So, once again, have people finally, is this proof enough for everybody? I'm just trying to understand. Because I've said for how long, the unfortunate truth of the matter is, although she is more progressive than her, AOC has more Elizabeth Warren in her blood than Nina Turner, if you catch my drift. In other words, when it's time to stay true to yourself, to stay true to what you built, Nina Turner comes out and says, if I'm running our revolution, we're endorsing Democrat, Republican, Green Party, Independent, green, purple, yellow, blue, turquoise. If you're a progressive, you're a progressive. AOC is, we have to all get behind Andrew Cuomo. Come on. This might not be so bad. I know she's been kissing Elizabeth Warren's ass. But this might not be so bad if you didn't mention Julian Castro's name. You mentioned Julian Castro's name. Julian Castro! Come on. If anybody can't see what this is, I don't know what to tell you. She's basically blackballing Tulsi. And if she is blackballing Tulsi, I can't speak to the motives, but there are clearly motives. There is clearly an agenda. And if she is being politically calculating when it comes to the future of our country, not based on anything other than a personal agenda, then we have to question her motives with everything else going forward. And that's a fact. Sorry. Hate to break it to you. Because it's weird that she's been defending X, Y, and Z, but obviously we know at this point, if you don't know, Tulsi Gabbard has the most aggressive climate change legislation ever introduced anywhere in the history of the world. This is a fact. Endorsed by over 400 climate and environmental legislation. It's called the Off Fossil Fuels Act, not the kind of Reduce Emissions Act like the Green New Deal. Everybody knows that the Off Act is better if you've done any iota of research, not even close. It is literally night and day when you're talking about the Green New Deal versus the Off Act. But cool, maybe you want the Off Act to be part of the Green New Deal resolution. So why don't you have her marching around the country with you like you have everybody else doing? Even though when you know, hey, this is kind of progressive, we should probably be boosting this. Personal agenda. I'm just saying. Look. Elizabeth Warren clearly was separated. She did distinguish herself in one way. Whenever you are getting boosted by the establishment in the way she did that night, that should be the big ass clue to AOC. Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't be supporting this woman. Maybe. But hey, here we are. AOC's not stupid. She knows the establishment wants her. She knows that the establishment sees Elizabeth Warren as the way to defeat Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard, and yet she keeps boosting her. She keeps raising her profile, and she keeps legitimizing Warren. And y'all keep thinking she's on our side. I'm not saying that AOC is an evil person. I'm not saying that she's establishment, per se. But what's the point of not taking corporate money if you're doing basically everything to boost the corporate candidates, the corporate party, and the corporate message and the corporate agenda? Out of curiosity. You're not even banning fossil fuels. You're not even banning fracking in your Green New Deal resolution. And it is indeed a resolution. And when you're talking about the fact that you brought up Julian Castro, he distinguished himself this debate. How? Somebody seems to be under strict orders, or maybe she's not under strict orders. Maybe she's suffering from the same syndrome that a lot of these other progressives are suffering from. A fear of having their, when you're in your field, we have various progressives in various fields that they're like the number one. They're talked about the most. They're never compared to anybody else. They're at the top. Oh, we love you so much. We love you so much. Tulsi becomes the first female president, becomes the first woman of color, becomes the first Polynesian, becomes the first Samoan, becomes the first officer, who is still in office. It's funny because if she's still in the National Guard, she's still in a major in the National Guard. That's a hell of a promotion if she wins. Skipped a couple of steps, I think, Tulsi, but it's okay. You're talking about a woman. And obviously it's no secret to anybody. Tulsi is gorgeous. And so you have that to think about. She's young as hell. 38 years old in politics is young, although clearly she carries herself in a more mature manner, because once you join the military, anybody and everybody who's been in the military can tell you age about 5 years immediately. And once you deploy, you age even faster. So maturity wise. So all of a sudden, everybody's, potentially, oh, wow, Tulsi's amazing. I think this person's amazing, but yeah, man, Tulsi, well, this person's amazing, but yeah, Tulsi, that person's dope. Tulsi would be setting the standard going forward. And these people, I'm not going to name any more names, but these people, you know who I'm talking about. They have all in their own lanes set their own standards. But from here forward, Tulsi, being as bold as she is, unwilling to toe party lines, unwilling to tiptoe around the issues, would be setting the standard in such a way that they're worried that they couldn't keep up without losing their fame, without becoming not necessarily a follower, but without, in their minds, being viewed as a follower of Tulsi. Somebody who's in their age range, somebody who is in their field. Some food for thought for you to think about. I would love to know what your thoughts are about this. Leave a like in the comment below. And always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. Thanks for watching that segment of Mi Casa es Su Casa. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Roku TV, and on JustNForm.com. Also, you can make sure that you're subscribed to the channel by going to the subscribe button, pressing it, and hitting that notification bell to get all of our notifications. And of course, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon by supporting the show by donating as little as $1. You can click on the link in the description below for that. And remember, more than anything else, find your balance.